This meeting is being
Hello,
recorded.
welcome to the RM show. How are we, guys?
All good, thanks, Rick.
All
it's
good.
it's playoff time now, baby. So
It is. We are getting there. How are you feeling, Simon, after being rough last week?
oh yeah, much better now, thanks, mate. Pretty sure it was probably a jab reaction, to be honest. So finally not having interesting dreams about big yellow dinosaurs anymore. So that's great. So nice to be back to normal.
The chip from Bill Gates is wearing off. There you go, mate.
Absolutely, yeah.
To all the anti-vaxxers who listen.
Yeah.
Oh, glad you're feeling better. How are you, Ash? What have you been up to?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, usual. Yeah, work, all that stuff, you know.
Yeah. How's the new
Watching
job going?
the
All right.
NFL. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Training.
The joys. But there we go. This is something different, Ash, to what you're used to.
Yeah, it's true. New change. Always good.
Don't be doing the rubbish like me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's all fun and games. But yeah, let's get straight into the NFL then, because like I said, it's been busy since we last been on. Lots has happened. So commiserations, my friend. I'll have to start with yourself. It looked good. I remember when we were talking on an episode previously, I was bigging your boys up to maybe be the AFC winners. And what's happened?
Yeah, no, and it's all really just all of it's been nearly there, but not quite over the line, really, which has been the case for probably sort of the last 4 or 5 games, really, where we've lost by a touchdown or less, and it's always been small margins, to be honest, where even a number of occasions we've had the upper hand, especially St. Louis last week, where we were actually ahead against the Rams, and unfortunately we let them back in the fourth quarter, and we just couldn't sort of keep ourselves together, really. And I think, to be honest, they've done well just to stitch the side together, really. It's a lot of players who've not really had a lot of game time with each other, and it's a very inexperienced backfield, really, and I'm quite pleased how they managed to match up against some of the better receivers in the last couple of weeks, really. And unfortunately as well, it's just where it's come down to those key third downs or that particular play. Even in the Pittsburgh game, if Bateman had made that catch in the fourth quarter just to get that first down, could we be talking about a different story here? Yeah, potentially. It's just I think we've gone as far as this team would go, and I wouldn't have liked our chances really in the next round. Really, I think we were limited to as far as we could in what we could achieve this year. Bearing in mind, I think, considering that it was a second string guy, it's third, fourth string running back, or fifth string defensive backs, I think there's a lot to be proud of, really. But it's a shame there's not going to be any hardwares at the end of it, and we'll just lick our wounds and go back for next season.
I think on the other side of it, though, you can watch the playoffs as a neutral and just enjoy some football now.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, yeah, and there's going to be some amazing games coming up as well, and that the fact that we've got now is Saturday and Sunday as well, that just means no more social life on a weekend.
That's true, yeah. Especially this weekend. What do you want to see? What do you want to see next year then? What are you going to be looking at the team bringing in the draft and in any trades? What are you looking for?
Well, I think for me, really, to be honest, I think the defensive line needs to be sorted out, because Calais Campbell, he's not getting any younger. Brandon Williams is actually an unrestricted free agent this year. I can see him leaving. Derek Wolfe he's been injured all season, and we'll have to see how healthy he is when he comes back. So I think starting up front is a must. And I think on the back end of side things as well, because for similar reasons, really, where people either are getting on a bit or they haven't been healthy. I mean, Jimmy Smith is one who never seems to last a full season. I think we just need a really strong defensive back as well. I think someone like Deshaun Elliott, who's been one of our better playmakers at the back there, he's actually an unrestricted free agent this year as well. I think maybe he could be he may be too expensive for him to keep. So I think we still need to get to be able to get pressure on the quarterback better than we did. It got better, it's improved, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be in order to. You can't just rely on one guy anymore. You need to be someone like as the Rams, like we mentioned earlier. You need someone you've been able to 3-4 positions who can bring that heat. Whereas I don't see that with the Ravens at the moment. We need either a good young defensive tackle or someone who could really sort of help slow down and bring pressure as well.
Yeah, you should have. Obviously, you've got one of our picks, haven't you, from the first round as well? So you've got a few that you can bring in, but we'll have to see. But yeah, it is a shame not to have the Ravens obviously in the postseason. Ash, to yourself, obviously happy. I know the last time we spoke, you were unsure whether you were going to make it, but in the end, you nearly finished top as well.
Yeah, got the job done. To be scraped by in the end, actually, the last 4 games, we were not good at all, were we? Matt Jones made a lot of mistakes. Defense didn't really look like the defense that we had prior to that bye week. So yeah, I think in the end we were put ourselves in a great position and bottled it a little bit. I think the pressure was on. I think that's where your rookie quarterbackers come in, and I think that's where you want that experience, isn't it? Matt Jones hasn't got it. He played well against the Jags, but they're not the hardest team to play, are they? And we were home as well, so I think we were lucky that we had that game sandwiched in between, because we've just been dreadful since the bye week. So yeah, not holding out a lot of hope for the playoffs, to be honest, but we've made it. It's good experience for this young quarterback. He's his first season. He's had to learn it on his own. He's had no one there to help him really, or to share the load. It's been him, and to have a playoffs under your belt in your first season, I think he's probably going to learn more about his game the last few weeks and the playoffs than he would have all season.
Yeah. Well, tell the Colts that the Jags are a terrible team.
So I was thinking about Wentz, our last one. I said I wouldn't trust him as a quarterback. I said, they Jags did well to shut Taylor down. Not many teams have been able to do it, but they kind of stopped that run game a little bit. Put the ball in Wentz's hand because you've got a good chance of beating them, and that's exactly what happened.
True, very true. But yeah, I would say there's not all doom and gloom. Obviously, with Patriots, I think your run game this year has been exceptional. I think the young boy Kevin Harris and Bolden, and they all seem to just be able to get you the yardage when you need it.
Yeah, Harris has been an absolute dime, hasn't he? I think behind Taylor, he's probably one of the best running backs this season. Yeah, he's been phenomenal. Yeah, Stevenson as well. He's come in, and when he's played, he's got the yards as well. So Bolden has chipped in more this season. So yeah, I've been really happy. We haven't had James White either. We've lost him at the start of the season. So imagine we had him in there too, and what he can do. But yeah, I have been impressed. When I look back at this season, it was pretty much a brand new team, wasn't it? For the Patriots in terms of the offense, a lot of new additions that we got in free agency. A new quarterback, obviously, and took us a while to get going. We had a good run. But yeah, I think going to the off season, we definitely need to strengthen up a little bit in defense and get some pressure, more pressure on quarterbacks than what we're doing. But I think it's definitely going to put us in good stead going forward as an organisation.
The Bills or the Bengals who've got out of the wild card?
Bills again. Bored of playing them.
It's 1-1, isn't it, in the season?
It was 1-1, yeah. We beat them at their ground. They beat us at ours. What's that?
rubber match then, you never know.
Oh. Well, the
Yeah.
first time we beat them, it was like 9 or something. We didn't score. It was snowing, wasn't it?
It
We just
was
ran the
crazy
ball the whole
weather, yeah.
time.
And then
Yeah,
and
I've never seen a game quite like
and all they did was try to throw the ball, which they seem to continue to do now, and they seem to really be neglecting the running game in a big way, and I think that just completely ate into your hands really, because Belichick was going to take advantage of that all day long without a running game.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're right. So, how are you feeling about the game then, Ash? What's your feelings on it? You thinking you can get past them? I know Josh Allen's had a good end to the season, but
Yeah, he's doing well, isn't he? And they smashed us a couple of weeks ago, and they played us at our place. I think they got a stronger all-round team than what we have. I think that experience of a rookie quarterback and what Josh Allen can do, I think is going to be the difference. He's been in this experience in this situation before. Josh Allen, our boy, hasn't. Matt Jones hasn't really been throwing that great the last few weeks of the season. Josh Allen has. And Josh Allen can run, can't he? He can put the burners on when he has to. So they're home as well, the Bills. So I do fancy the Bills on this one.
on the other side of it, though, Simon, obviously, like I say with the pictures, Mac Jones, I think undoubtedly is the rookie quarterback that's come out of the draft class. We talk a lot of talk about Lawrence and Lance and Fields, but he's the one who's looked the most at home, obviously under Belichick's tutelage. But how do you see it going now when it goes, like say in Buffalo? You see the Patriots upsetting. Is he going to have to try and find Hunter Henry more than he has been last few weeks?
Oh yeah, he's going to have to. They're going to have to spread it about a little bit, and unfortunately, they've got the running game. It's just a continuity from him, which is what they're looking for now. And like you said, he was the one who it really just didn't seem to grab the headlines when coming out of the draft. And when you in comparison to people like Lawrence now and so on, and I still think he's been, without a shadow of a doubt, the best to come out of that crop, and I think there's huge upside on him as well. I think in some of it where I think he's still a bit raw, where he's still probably a little bit hasty, but I think give this man a year or two, he'll be easily on Josh Allen's level, and I think he will be that sort of level or the caliber quarterback as well. But I do fancy the Patriots' chances in this, to be honest, because I think the one thing the Patriots always seem to do is lightning doesn't seem to strike twice with them, so they always seem to make the mistake. They seem to correct the mistakes from the previous game. So you'll always find that, okay, maybe it might have been that third or fourth receiver from the Bills who seemed to make a bit of a field day for them in the last game. They'll be aware of him now. They won't. I don't see them having the same sort of success. But I think it will be a case of if the if the Patriots get behind early, that's where they're going to have a problem. I think whoever can take the early advantage I think will win that game. And I think it's getting off the blocks fast for the Patriots, but I do think they're capable of it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it's going to be a close one. Like I say, it's hard to bet against Josh Allen the way he's playing at the moment, both with his feet and his throws. But yeah, I think you obviously give him the edge with Stephon Diggs. I think he's obviously the best receiver out of the two teams. But then, like I say, that run game from the Patriots and the defense is still mean. JC Jackson still wants to try and intercept every ball. So you never know. It's going to be a great game. And I think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be as big a score as the second game. I think it's going to be more tight. Maybe not because of the weather, but I think it will be a tighter game. You get the nerves with the Bills. The Patriots has been there how many times? It's that big as well.
And Patriots always seem to do better when when the odds are against them. So I think So I think the fact that if I know even people have, like some of the pundits have got Bills are down as the favourites, but I think that works in the Patriots' favour. I think that takes the pressure off them a little bit.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think it's good. As we said then, guys, when we've been talking, obviously I had to choke on my wildcard pick with the Colts, but Ash, you just got away with it. The 49ers just managed to beat the Rams and just managed to get through,
Yeah.
despite Jimmy G trying to throw it away.
I know. I know. That's the thing. And then I think how fit is he going to be? And that's what I say. I think when he was playing well, I thought he got that thumb injury. It's quite a nasty injury as well. By the sounds of what he's got, it's going to have an impact, isn't it? Surely. Who are they up against? Cowboys? Yeah. So I think Cowboys are playing really well, aren't they? On both sides of the ball. How fit is Jimmy G? And for me, that's what it's going to come down to.
True. But like the other side of things, though, with the 49ers, I'm obviously, like if you're looking a couple of years ago, when they were in their Super Bowl years, you were thinking, who's the face of them? You talk about Jimmy G, you were talking about George Kittle, obviously, and rightfully so at the time. But really, Deebo Samuel's, he is the guy who's going to either get them through or they're going to be out, I think.
I agree. Yeah, and he seems to be their star man now, and it seems to be much more. He seems to be a lot more of a vital part of the offense than even Kittle now, maybe. And I think with Kittle, they could, even though he's a big loss, but Deebo Samuel is that even bigger loss because he offers that little bit extra, whether it's been a running back or a wide receiver, really. And it just seems to be able to just go to distance now with every time he touches the ball. So he just seems to have exploded really this season, really out of nowhere. But I think they almost have to keep this guy in the cotton wool, really, because I think they would really struggle without him. The defense as well, I think I have to mention that, because that is that they managed to really pull their socks up now, because even I think the difference between the first 8 games of the season and the last 9 games of the season, massive improvements all across the board with the defense. But I think that's a lot of it because they got healthy again, and I think there was a lot of people who have been missing, and but now they're starting to get bodies back on the field at the right time. So I'm still keeping. I still think 49ers are going to cause some real problems this postseason for people.
Yeah. On the other side of the thing with the Cowboys, though, obviously, since Dak's come back, it's not been as fluid as it was obviously at the start of the season. I watched the game against the Eagles, and you could argue that Minshew was a better quarterback in that game than Dak Prescott was for the Cowboys, for a depleted Eagles team, obviously not playing for anything. So, when it comes to the Cowboys and the 49ers, you've got big matchups. Like, say, you've got Deebo Samuel, you've got Zeke Elliott. You've obviously got Fred Warner on one side, you've got Parsons on the other. Who would you pick, Ash?
The tough one. It's the one game out of all of them actually that I'm looking forward to the most. Is this matchup? It's a tough one to call. Like you say, the 49ers have come on strong, haven't they? Second half of the season, they look a team that are in form. They seem to be clicking all over the pitch. They know what their jobs are. Then you've got the Cowboys, haven't you? And when they're on it, aren't they? I mean, you got that horrible injury, Prescott. I think he's done well this season coming back. How's Elliott going to run in that game? Again, it can come down to that as well. I don't know. I can't call it. It's a game will Jimmy G's injury play a part? You just don't know, do you? If he was fit, then, I fancy the 49ers going into this game, but because he's not fully fit and you've got people like Parsons, you've got Diggs, intercepting so many, isn't he? How's this game going to go? Turnovers are going to be huge, aren't they? They always are in the playoffs anyway, but yeah, just how's he going to throw that ball? So yeah, I don't know. I can't call it.
Right?
Cannot call it.
I think the thing with Dallas. They again with like the 49ers. The thing with Dallas, I think at the sort of on the defensive side of things, they were struggling at certain points during the season, but they've seemed to have really. I think they seem to start to get their act together as well. And I think one of the unsung heroes within that Dallas team, who probably doesn't get enough credit that he deserves, really, is Pollard as well. Because even when Zeke has not really been the superstar which we've all been accustomed to over the last couple of seasons, Pollard has just been the bell cow who seems to be constantly churning up and being a consistent player. I think from having the healthier man at the helm and who's coming back into form at the right time, I would lean across towards Dallas, to be honest, because well, even if you've got a sewn together Jimmy G, I'd still put more of my faith in Dak Prescott than I would with Jimmy G, because I think he offers a lot more, and you could argue maybe he's probably got a lot more to work around him as well, and they've still probably got one of the better offensive lines in the NFL, really, and has been the case for a number of years. So I think teams are going to really, really struggle to slow this team down. Now that they can cause people havoc on the defensive side, it's just they feel like more of a balanced team now than they did.
I agree. Yeah, I'm a bit like Ash. I can't call it. Like I say, it does depend a lot on Jimmy G and if he's fit. But yeah, the Cowboys, I would say, are definitely the favourites in the game if you're a betting guy. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Spare a thought for our Chargers fans. Goes to overtime and then Raiders stick in the knife.
What was going on? I thought it was going to be a tie. I thought they were going to tie it and they both get through. So not fair play to the Raiders for, I think, doing the sporting thing in terms of going for the win. But yeah, Chargers so close. I thought they had a great start to the season, didn't they? And they just kind of lost their way a little bit, didn't they? But again, they've got a good future, haven't they? They've got a good quarterback there, and I think they're going to be a strong team in the years to come.
Yeah, Simon, on the other side of it, obviously, it means the Raiders are through. I think we'll all hold our hands up and say that the season they've done amazing to get to the playoff picture. But Joe Burrow and then Bengals just a step too far.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, I think Bengals have gone up a level in the last couple of weeks, and we knew they were good and they could be lethal, but now we're seeing it, and now they're proving it on a weekly basis as well. So, okay, you could argue where I think some games they were putting up big numbers because they were playing depleted teams, but they're not going to be playing depleted teams now. They're still going to be playing strong sides now, and I think they're going to still have the same amount of success, really. And I think as much as we talk about the Jamar Chase and T Higgins and all those receiving corps, but I still love the balance they bring with Parnell and Joe Mixon as well. I think that's what really keeps the rhythm of this team, because I think they're just so good with both, really, and that's what's done so well and why Joe Burrow has done so well lately. So I'm really excited to see what the Bengals can do. And I can't see them slipping up against the Raiders. I really can't. But it's who I put my faith in. Which quarterback I put my faith in more in? Burrow. Yeah, all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Fair enough. I suppose that's another game which you pour your money on is Tampa Bay beating the Eagles. I don't think you're going to get many who are going to go against Brady in that offensive line there.
No.
Jalen Hurts has done well, Ash, but I think the Eagles may be a few seasons away.
Oh yeah, definitely. Buccaneers have got the easy draw again, haven't they? They did last year, and they had Washington. They've done it again, yeah, with the Eagles. Yeah, Eagles again. Hurts has definitely come on leaps and bounds this season. You've seen what he can do, what he's capable of. Stronger supporting cast around him, definitely. Again, they're a team that are in that rebuilding process that the Chargers. I think Chargers and the Eagles, these kind of teams where they've got the quarterback in who's showing good signs. They just need a stronger cast around them.
Yeah,
I think they will. They'll build.
Oh, definitely. I agree with you, especially with the players they lost as well during the season. But do you agree, Sam? Bucks all the way on that one?
Unless something was to go horribly wrong, then yeah. I think the only thing where like the Bucks will have to be aware of, and I'm sure that they are, and which the threat which Hurts poses in terms of his arm and with his feet, and they'll all know all about that now. And I suppose one key area which will be an interesting battle as well is we know that maybe their defensive backs have not been as strong as they were in the past. How well can Devontae Smith do against those sort of characters? Really, we know how good their front seven is, and they've just proved it by paying Vita Vea handsomely as well. So he's got a fat new contract. It's that key area which will be the interesting part of this game, but unless something was to go horribly wrong, then you've got to take the Bucks on this one.
Yeah, I agree. No way that the Eagles, despite how well they've done to get there, are gonna get through that one. I don't think. Coming to the game, which is obviously the late game because it's my team involved. Steelers and Chiefs. I don't think any of us give the Steelers much of a chance, but sack machine TJ Watt has gone through some.
He just keeps on growing, but this is a different offensive line he's got going up against now this week because yours was a lot more healthy than the last one he saw, but then he's proved it all year, hasn't he? And he's still probably the front runner for defensive MVP, but to be honest, as much it would be a bit of a fairy tale ending for the Steelers if Ben was to get a championship, which could be, and all signs look like it's going to be his last year. I still think the Chiefs have really sort of pulled themselves together after just a little bit of a wobbly start the season, but I think it was always just a little bit of teething, and defensively on the back end, you've proved enormously. I think even someone like Nick Bolton, who probably doesn't get much credit, I think Bolton has been quality for you, and I really think they're going to have too much for the Steelers, who have been hot and cold really to contend with.
True, but Ash, what I will say on the other side of things, watching the Bengals game, watching the Broncos game as well last week, the Bengals, obviously Jamar Chase just run us ragged, but having a mobile quarterback in Joe Burrow and Andrew Luck, who kept on making plays against us because we didn't think he was a threat. I know you're not going to see Big Ben do what Drew Lock did, but is that something for them to work on? What they've seen the last few weeks?
Yeah, it is. I think it's something that they can look at. But for me, I just can't see it happening. I don't think they can compete with you offensively. You score touchdowns really fast. You can turn the game. You get a 14-point lead within minutes if you wanted to, couldn't you? TJ Watt's not going to be able to stop all of you. I think Mahomes is too fast, isn't he? I think he's not going to get as many sacks in this game as he has in other games. So yeah, obviously Steelers can look at that and work on it, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be Ben's last game. I just don't think offensively they can compete with you or keep up with you, and the score you're probably going to put up.
I hope you're both right. to be honest. I don't, like I said, the last 2 weeks have been a bit painful to watch, but yeah, I don't know. Some guys have stepped up, to be fair, Pringle, Hardman, a couple of players, but yeah, it's going to be a good game, like I say. If it, it's good to see Big Ben make the playoffs one final time, but yeah, I'm hoping you're right, and they do bring it into the next round. Okay, guys, last game then quickly because I know we're running out of time. So we've got the Rams and the Cardinals. It's going to be a bit of fight between these two. What do we think, Ash? Who's gonna take the prize?
Rams. I'm running on Rams on this one. I think they got a few more offensive weapons than the Cardinals have. Yeah, Murray, I think, has improved the last couple of weeks in the games that he's played, but they're still nowhere near the level they were at the beginning of the season. They definitely look vulnerable on defense. I just think the Rams have got a lot of weapons, haven't they? I think Cooper Kupp is just absolutely flying. He's had a phenomenal season. Him and Stafford definitely got a great link up there. Look at the defensive line. You've got, Donald. You've got Von Miller. I think I'm going to go for the Rams on this one. I think they got Odell Beckham Jr. who's getting better each game, isn't he? He's starting to have more of an influence. So yeah, I'm going to go for Rams on this one. Just that'd be a close game.
Yeah, I think I agree. Will be a close one. Quickly then, Si, who have you got down for this one, mate?
Yeah, I have to agree with Ash. I think I have to go with the Rams on this one because I think that just the Cardinals seems to have fallen apart a little bit really in the last couple of weeks, and I'd be the first person to admit I think probably sort of a few weeks into the season I had them as going to be one of my picks of the Super Bowl, just considering just how well they were doing, and they seemed to be hammering people at the time, but yeah, it's just since as Ashley mentioned, since man had that injury, it seems to have really knocked the wind out of them, and they've never really sort of recovered from then. And whereas the Rams are battle tested, and they've seemed to have overcome a few of their glitches, and despite sometimes it hasn't looked pretty, they've managed to pull themselves together. But so I think just in terms of where the team is from a performance point of view, I got to go with the Rams.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page with that one. Like you say, it'd be interesting to see how Connor and them guys do play against that Rams defense. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to see a Rams win there. Okay then, guys. Thank you very much. Sorry to cut it short, but we are running out of time. But yeah, it's going to be a great, like you say, wildcard weekend. We've got across 3 days, so it'll be interesting to watch some good NFL. So thank you as always for being part of the show. Like I said, it's going to be on tomorrow now for the channel. So to the viewers, I hope you're enjoying. Please subscribe. Go to our social media pages as well. But yeah, give us a like, give us a comment. But yeah, guys, I'm sure we'll be back next week just to divulge a bit of the wildcard games. But until then, thank you very much for being part of the show, and I'll speak to you after the games on the weekend, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.